Hi, I'm Tim Tyler, and today I'll be discussing the idea that self-improving systems already exist in the form of companies and other organisations, and that future self-improving systems are likely to arise from the evolution of existing organisations. A common perception is that self-improving systems will be developed directly out of existing computer software projects. Here are Eric Drexler and Steve Omohundro discussing some of the efforts that have been made so far on this front.
Yes. I've heard this line a couple of times before. Linode was talking like this back in the 80s. Remember how AM and Eurisco appear to work?
Sure.
So you know that one, yeah. And so he had the first self-improving system along these lines. And then there were the neural net guys who were trying this. And Koza at Stanford has been beating on this problem for the last 20 years and making some progress. The problem is that what happens with all these things is you have some utility function, and you optimize for a while, and you reach a point where you're at a local maximum. And nothing you can try at that point, the space you're searching, none of your neighbor areas help you. And you can't find anything that makes things bigger, because the only way to get better is to make some drastic change, which is non-obvious. And you're in some huge multi-dimensional space where you can't find it. What seems to happen in practice is everybody who builds a self-improving system has something that basically maxes out within a day of crunching. And more compute power won't help. The comment I made to Koza's group like 15 years ago was, eventually somebody may crack that problem, and there's a Nobel Prize in that one. But so far nobody has. But merely throwing compute power at the problem will not help, because we have things that are maxing out already. You can make them max out faster, but you're missing some key insight to make self-improving systems actually work. And I haven't seen it yet. Do you have it?
Well, the systems you talked about, many of them are subject to local maxima. Things like neural networks have a very restricted form of change that can happen. Typically can only change weights in a very incremental way. Those can get stuck. The Eurisco is more interesting, but none of those systems really had a model of themselves. If the system has a full model of itself, then it has potentially any change, any dramatic, huge leap through the space of designs, it can make it in an instant. If it can prove...
Something that's actually working, or is it still speculative?
We're not announcing any product at the moment, but but it's a general class of designs that is a possibility. And clearly they need to be proven, definitely. But the consequences and the behavior of this type of system can be analyzed before actually seeing any of them working.
However, the premise that self-improving systems are exclusively a future development seems suspect to me. Rather, I consider today's companies to be examples of self-improving systems. Companies gradually improve themselves over time, therefore they qualify as a form of self-improving collective intelligence. Other organisations can also act to improve themselves, notably government organisations, charities, religions, and so on. It is true that companies contain some components which are hard to incrementally upgrade, namely human brains. However, the brains can be replaced one at a time by the process of automation, a process which is relatively well understood. My expectation is that the self-improving systems that will be dominant in the future will arrive out of today's companies or other similar large organisations. Which organisations are the ones most likely to undergo explosive growth and development in the future? In my view, the three most likely possibilities are the super librarian scenario, the super stock market trader scenario, and the super security scenario. The largest such organisations today would correspond to Google, Bridgewater Associates, and the NSA. Although they operate in different domains, each of these organisations has a large proprietary base of software which they do not share with the rest of the world. This knowledge can be thought of as being part of the genetic basis of the organisation, and it is also what improves over time. Keeping their knowledge base secret hinders these organisations in some respects, since they may be able to make more money by sharing their knowledge with their partners. However, secrets do keep their technology out of the hands of their competitors, and these companies do gradually accumulate a wealth of knowledge that only they possess, and that can translate into competitive advantages. If you look at the security services, they have a long track record of reaching important discoveries first, and then keeping them secret. Public key cryptography, differential cryptanalysis, programmable computers, and so on. The nearest all-machine equivalent of a company is probably a robot. However, companies enjoy advantages over robots in several areas. Companies can own goods, enter into contracts, and have legal rights and responsibilities. Robots currently have none of these abilities. By utilising humans, companies can take advantage of the capabilities of organic brains in areas where these are strong. The humans can then be gradually made redundant as their skills are surpassed by those of machines. In this way, the human brain is used as a convenient stepping stone, to be used when needed and then discarded when it's exhausted. It seems likely that an all-machine approach would be handicapped by an inability to exploit human labour during the early stages of its development, when humans still have things of economic value to contribute. So, it seems reasonable to expect companies, or possibly governments, which are the most significant self-improving systems of today, to evolve directly into the main self-improving systems in the future, with human labour dropping out of the picture gradually as tasks within these organisations progressively succumb to automation. Enjoy.